Yeah, we'll see.
I call this meeting of the City Commission to order November 9th, 2021. Will you join me in the flag salute?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving on to public input. Reverend Jin, will you come lead us in a prayer?
Let us pray. Oh, gracious God, thank you so much for all the leaders gathered here and community members are here. And we pray that you guide us always and satisfy the needs that needs to be met during this meeting. And give us your wisdom as we discuss and strengthen us as we make decisions. I pray that we will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail. And I pray that we will be fruitful so we can build a stronger community together. God, please guide us so that this meeting can be productive and let us be effective and decisive with your blessings of wisdom. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak in public input? If so, come forward, state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Thank you. My name is Robert Romine. I live at 2107 Timber Lane here in town. Can I hand out a few of these, or have someone hand out a few of these?
Yes.
This is a little overview about what I want to talk about. Thank you so much. So I have a concern. Where I live is 1 block north of 20th Street on Free King Highway, and on the northwest corner of that there is a pond. And this pond is constantly going up and down. 80 acres run off into this pond area, and when it rains really hard, that water goes over Free King Highway. It also backs up into my area, my backyard, and my neighbor's backyard, and that neighbor's backyard. Dean Krager owns the pond, and he's been trying to get some stuff done there for a long time, approximately 25 years. He wanted to seal the pond, have the county, state, somebody come in and kind of smooth it out, make it really nice for, for the neighborhood to be able to come in and fish out of the pond. It's a great idea. Obviously, though, if it rains really hard, that water still has someplace to go. There is no runoff area, on this pond. It basically goes underground. The easy part of that is, put a whistle underneath that highway and take it on down to the creek east of there. But that seems to have been an issue. There are problems in the neighborhood that leads me to believe that that pond is keeping the neighborhood afloat. I know it sounds crazy. When I first moved into my house in 2006, it was a dry summer. The addition on my house, which has a full basement, sank 6 inches on one corner. The city came out, we looked at it, he said, "Oh, not our problem." My insurance company said, not our problem. So I had to pay someone to come out, jack my house back up into place, and I had to put a new roof on it because it tore my roof in half. My neighbor, Kent Grissom, lives kind of catty corner from me, had a sinkhole in his front yard. The city came out and fixed it. About 3 houses to the west of me, around the corner there, the Besprats were going to put an addition on their house. And they wanted to put a basement in there so they had a safe place to go during tornadoes. Well, they got in there and started excavating for this basement, and they found out it was all full of construction fill and water. This entire area back here used to be a construction dump. When I say construction dump, more like concrete, things like that. I know the area has been mined. Supposedly Dickey Clay came out and they took all the clay out of the area. My understanding is that somebody else was undermining that. But there are no maps that seem to be available to prove that. The issue is, Dean's idea was great to fix this and make it nice, okay? But something for 25 years has stopped this from happening. And I'm speculating that if they seal this pond and that water doesn't go down underground there, that somebody's going to be liable for a whole lot of damage in that neighborhood. Okay? Now, I've written some of this stuff out. My issue started about 4 years ago when they paved the highway there and it raised the water level. When it raised that water level, that water backed up into my workshop out behind my house, and I keep custom cars, hot rods, things like that that I work at. I keep that sealed up, but it's a metal building with a wooden frame. And that water will sometimes sit in there for weeks on end. The humidity in there is just absolutely unbelievable, and it has destroyed the wooden structure of this building. It's just coming down, falling down, the roof leaks, everything. I filed a claim with the city then. They sent an adjuster out and said, nope, not our problem. So, we got a twofold situation. We actually got a threefold situation if you want to think about it, because this water, when it goes over the highway, I personally have witnessed a couple of different accidents where people blow through that water and end up in the ditch. City came out, or county came out, somebody said, put a light out, you know, high water, don't pass through. They used to put big barricades, wooden barricades out there for orange flashing lights. People would blow through those barricades. We'd be out there picking up wood so we can get in and out of our driveway. So, I don't know what the whole answer is. I don't know what all the holdup is about making that, but I'm speculating it's this leak in this pond that can't be fixed. So what I'm asking is, in the meantime, okay, let me start over a second. So, here a couple of weeks ago, a lot of people known about this, and Chuck Smith got involved. And he comes into my shop. He's one of my customers. He comes in, he says, hey, how do you like your new whistle under Free King Highway? I said, I didn't see it, but that's great. And about 3 hours later, he comes back and says, well, I'm sorry, but there's no whistle there. Said, Mr. Krager put up a fit, and they stopped it and said, unless I get what I was promised 20 years ago, I'm not allowing this to happen. So they stopped it. So I was a little disappointed in Dean, honestly, because I really thought we were going to get some of this taken care of, and it didn't happen. I talked to Matt a little bit and I said, hey, kind of what's going on? And Matt had been telling me all along that they was going to have to do a bunch of dirt work, they had to do a bunch of easements, they had to get a whole lot of stuff done on the east side of Free King Highway for this water to go somewhere. And none of that had really been done. And I had asked Matt, I said, did that get done? And he said, no. And I said, well, how are they putting an easement in there? And he said, well, I don't even remember what you said. I don't know. So, I have a solution. I've drawn some maps here. They're not very good maps, but there's some drawings there, basically an overview at the beginning, where that floodplain all stuff is, where all the water goes when it's over the highway and everything.
Bob, I hate to cut you off. I know you're on a roll and you're doing a good job, but I see you have a list of questions here.
Yep.
Can we attempt at the end of the meeting get you some answers?
Absolutely.
And maybe City Manager Darren Hall can answer some of the questions.
Absolutely.
Now, if not, maybe seek out some answers for you.
Sure, no problem.
If you don't mind sticking around.
Yeah, absolutely.
To the end of the meeting. But thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak in public input? Seeing none, I close this portion of the meeting to public input and move to consent agenda. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda? This is a nice one. I'll read them off. Item A, approval of October 26, 2021 City Commission meeting minutes. Item B, approval of appropriation ordinance for the period ending November 9th, 2021, subject to the release of HUD expenditures when funds are received. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Is there, been moved and second, roll call vote.
Brooks.
Yes.
Fields.
Yes.
McNay.
Yes.
Mansell.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Moving consent, consider the following. Item A, vacation. 3P Development Group LLC dash Troxel Road. Consider the recommendation of the Planning Commission / Board of Zoning Appeals to approve the request submitted by 3P Development Group LLC for the vacation of the west half of Troxel Road, Troxel subdivision of Lot 8, Brayley subdivision. Quentin.
Okay. So to my knowledge, Troxel Road was halfway platted way back in history with the hopes that the person who filed the plat would get the east half at some point and be able to do something back there. Obviously that hasn't happened for quite some time. And so 3P Development has requested that that road be vacated so that they can put a subdivision on that parcel.
Any questions for Matt? Were any,
Quentin.
Matt, Quentin, sorry
So,
about that.
does P3 own that
They
property?
do own that parcel outlined in red, yes.
They're vacating the road for building of houses. How many are they talking about?
I think there's 12 on the plat. Yeah, that'll be,
Okay.
the preliminary plat is next.
At this planning zoning meeting, Quentin, did anybody speak in opposition to this?
There's no one in opposition of it. No, not this road vacation.
Any other questions? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Quentin.
Yep.
Item B, preliminary plat, 3P Development Group, LLC, Sunflower Estates. Consider the recommendation of Planning Commission / Board of Zoning Appeals to approve the preliminary plat submitted by 3P Development Group for the platting of Sunflower Estates located in Troxel subdivision of Lot 8 of Brayley subdivision.
So this is the parcel that you've just seen before, minus the, obviously the half platted road. This preliminary plat by Sunflower, by 3P for Sunflower Estates. And if you have any questions about the preliminary plat, Rod Zinn is here, who had prepared it.
What's the price range of these 12 houses?
I don't know that they've gotten into price range. I know they had mentioned that they'll be moderately priced.
Okay. And I see, where's this, it's a cul-de-sac?
Yeah, so if you can see down at the bottom here, this will be the entrance off of Home, heading east, and then south to the cul-de-sac, and then north will be, it'll have an access to the property to the north.
So there's only one way into this development?
At the moment, there is one way in from a constructed street, but there is an additional entrance exit platted for the property to the north.
That will be on Home Street?
No.
Okay, when you say to the north, what do you, I mean,
Oh, I thought it was 14.
Yeah.
No, entrance is gonna be off Home, so.
oh, the last page?
Let me rotate this to where we're oriented north. So this is north orientation here. So this will be Home Street, turn east into the subdivision, back south to the cul-de-sac, or straight north to the property to the north. So it eventually will have 2 exits from the subdivision.
This is it be an RHID area?
It is in an RHID area.
Is the road and the cul-de-sac big enough for a fire truck to turn around?
Do you know?
What-
Go
Oh,
ahead,
sorry.
Cheryl.
How big a radius is that cul-de-sac? I thought that was always a big deal about fire trucks,
I can't read it.
2 entrances.
It's a 39-foot radius.
Do you know if they're planning to put sidewalks along Hall? In the-
There are sidewalks. Can I help you out, Quinn?
Yeah.
There are sidewalks, and this is on the preliminary plat. We've got sidewalks coming in 2 areas. Number one, it's coming across the south end of the cul-de-sac. We've got a 10-foot access easement across the south line. It's a pedestrian access easement. So as people come up Home Street, they can come across the south end of the cul-de-sac. And then there's sidewalks all the way around the cul-de-sac, all the way going north for future expansion to the north, and then out to the west to Home Street. So, and those are 5-foot sidewalks that they're planning on that.
Say that one more time about the pedestrian,
Pedestrian access easement
on the south?
on the very south. Yeah, on the final plat, this is the preliminary plat, but on the final plat, there is a pedestrian access easement that we've put on the final plat for access. And I'm trying to see it
What,
on this
between the
one.
second and third house?
Nope, right at the bottom of south of lot 9 there.
So does it go to 14th Street?
Yes, it goes, no,
So-
it does not. It goes over to the west to Home Street.
Oh,
Rotate it properly.
That was your sideways too.
Okay, so we can
lot 9. Okay.
probably explain a little bit better here with the map view. So that south red line is right here.
Oh,
Is
okay.
where Rod is talking.
So there from that southwest corner, we've got that 10-foot pedestrian access easement where a 5-foot sidewalk will be put across there. The neighbor to the south, when he had talked to us about it, and he actually acquired 2 feet, because his fence was encroaching a little bit, he acquired 2 feet from 3P Development, and then we said that we can create a buffer in there, and that was a perfect opportunity for access easement, pedestrian-wise, so they could walk across, the kids going to school, and then walk up that in future development, hopefully to the north towards the school.
Looking at this, the only access to these homes will be down that road. There won't be an alleyway behind.
Correct. There was
So my question is, and maybe I'm jumping the gun, but about parking. Is this street gonna be wide enough for if someone wants to park, because that's an issue we have going on now, with parking on both sides of the street? Can a school bus or a fire truck, is there enough width in case somebody decided
I
to
think they're
park?
planning 29-foot back-to-back is what they were planning on doing with that. So Pete, I look to you, is that something that'll allow school bus plus some on-street parking?
If you park on both sides of the street, you're gonna have a single lane in between on a 29-foot back-to-back.
So they can get a bus or a fire truck if they're parked directly across from each other?
Correct. Because that
All
takes up basically 12 feet with its shy distance. And so back-to-back be through each you 28. So that'll leave you 16 plus or minus for the center lane to drive to.
And it's not getting through with the paper on each side of the truck, you have to, because I've done that before. So I know that's a issue, but,
A lot of your normal city streets are 29, back-to-back, 28, back-to-back,
right,
some 27.
all right, thanks. Any other questions?
We do
Any
have
other
one thing
questions
that's
on
gonna
the
be coming
approval?
up.
Oh.
I'm sorry. We do have one thing that's gonna be coming up on this. We've got 4 lots on the east-west street coming off of Home Street that right now are pretty small in size. And we're gonna be asking for a variance coming up in the next meetings to see if we can widen that to put the size of house on there that they need. Because they have double frontages and pushing it in 30 feet and 30 feet. And we're gonna ask to go to a 20 feet on the side building line instead of a 30 for the double frontage.
You better not confuse us right now.
Yeah.
Don't want to confuse you.
That's not what we're approving right now.
That's not what we're approving, we're just approving the preliminary.
I move approval.
It's been moved, there's a second.
Second.
Been moved and second, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Thanks, Rod.
Thank you.
Item C, request to change zoning. Consider the recommendation of the Planning Zoning / Board of Zoning Appeals to approve the request submitted by the City of Pittsburgh to change the zoning of certain areas located on 4th and Rouse Street from R1C Single Family Residential to CP-2 Planned General Commercial.
Yeah, so the city owns all of this property here, these parcels here. So the ask is that we rezone these residential parcels along Rouse to CP2 to match what's on the corner.
Is lot 10 also, is it residential now, or is it,
It's currently residential, yeah.
why wouldn't you include it with the others? Just curious.
Well, sorry, I don't have.
It'd be the furthest south one, or unless I'm reading it wrong.
No, you're right.
Lot 10?
That may be a line didn't make it all the way down.
Oh, okay.
I apologize.
No, that's all right.
I have no concerns about this.
Any questions?
I have just one more. What about the drainage behind there? Like right there where the lawn mowing business is, there's that drain. Is that gonna affect any of this property at all?
You know, and this is probably more than needs discussed, but I know Matt and Pete and myself have been involved in stormwater discussions specifically about this area that the state is working on for floodplain management. And it really looks like those issues are going to just go away in general. But they will have, whatever the development is there, will have a requirement.
So it's not considered in the floodplain right now, or is it?
Currently, a portion of it is, yeah, but it looks like into the future it will not be.
So your verbiage indicates, doesn't take us all the way down to 9, 10. Are you asking us to extend that all to the south to capture lots
Yeah.
9 and also designated as 10?
Well, I would certainly prefer lot 10 to be in there, but if I have mistaken there, then
Are you able to expand it just a little bit?
Zoom out.
Yeah, oh,
picture.
sorry, zoom
Oh,
out.
sorry.
Yeah.
Just for a sec, like Don's talking to the south there.
Yeah. So in your verbiage, you're referencing the numbers to the left, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It doesn't reference 9. Which, I mean, I don't.
no, we're not talking about
But 10 is not listed though. If the
Sure.
line was off, wouldn't you just need to add it, right?
Right,
An addendum?
yes.
So the line will be moved to include 10.
If we can amend to include 10, yes.
Okay, so I don't, stupid question here, but your verbiage is referencing the numbers along the side.
The lot sizes?
I-
Or the lots?
I mean, your piece of paper here, yeah, it talks about the lots.
Yeah, I see
But
the
we're
full-
talking, 10, 11, 12, 13. So does it matter?
Oh,
I mean, what,
you're right.
I'm confused.
So you're talking Lapham on
Maybe.
this paperwork.
Maybe let me get a different visual up here.
Did I?
Because the agenda item doesn't specify.
Okay. Maybe we need to pull up the GIS. Or, for time's sake,
5, 6.
the city parcels outlined here
Okay,
that are referenced are what we're talking about.
so you do or do not want us to go down and capture 10? Stick to 11?
This number 10, yes.
Yes, what?
This number
Capture.
10, no.
Got it.
The city parcel. This parcel here owned by Anthony Uri is not the city parcel.
Anthony. But you want us
That says
to,
9 on that.
yeah, so, but you want us to extend the city parcel down, your red line would go to the bottom of between 9 and 10.
Yes.
The big 9 and 10, okay. So you don't specify those in the motion here, so we would need to probably,
So were those approved by the P and Z?
yeah, do we have to go back to them?
I mean, you've got lots 4 and 5, lots 6, 7, and 8. It says were approved by P and Z, right?
Yes.
Do those lots belong to the city? Because they're listed as Ford as owners. So it's kind of confusing.
Well, it says City of Pittsburgh. Where do you see
No,
4?
we-
4, 5, and
Other side,
6.
Dawn.
Oh, sorry, but we're not talking about those.
Well, that's what.
That's
this-
what's
in
listed
the
here.
paperwork.
On the paperwork. The property described is lots 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and 4, 5, and 6
We're
is
looking at
listed.
two
Quentin, you
different
got,
numbers.
here's what's going on. Those blocks have a number down the left side.
Right,
Those are the numbers we're talking about. You're
Oh.
looking at the big
Oh, okay.
numbers in the
I
middle,
gotcha.
which are something
Yeah.
else completely.
Okay, thank you.
But the question still remains,
Yes.
did the plans and zoning not pick up lot 10 or 9, whatever way you're looking at it?
right,
And it sounds like they didn't. Is that what we're,
because they weren't asked to,
yeah.
question mark.
But let me ask you a
An
question, does
addendum?
that really make any difference
I mean,
to us passing this or not passing it?
Are we able to make an addendum to this, just to, I mean, or does planning and zoning have to
It's
make
a
an
rec-
addendum?
Henry?
You can pass an ordinance, but I don't know if they considered those lots or not when they, I don't have any minutes from the meeting, so I
were they
can't tell you.
asked to consider 9/10?
If you delay it 2 weeks, does it make any difference?
That's what I was gonna ask.
Okay,
No difference? Why not go back and
Let's go back.
bring it back again?
Okay.
Pull the red line down one more.
Yeah,
Can we approve what's here now, though? And then
I'd
we'll
rather go back until it's changed right, is my preference.
Unless there's a reason that we need to move forward immediately.
No, it's fine.
Okay, then let's
Go back.
address it next meeting.
So
sure.
what do we do, table this till the next meeting?
I move to table.
Second.
All right. It's been moved and seconded to table, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Thanks, Quentin.
Thanks, Quentin. All right, moving on to non-agenda reports and requests. Bi-monthly budget review, Director of Finance Larissa Bowman will provide the October 31st, 2021 bi-monthly budget review. Larissa.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I'm here tonight to give you an update on the city finances as of October 31st. We're 10 months into the fiscal year, which is about 83%. So we've received our last tax distribution from the county, and we have 2 more months of sales tax collections for the year. The 2 things I kind of wanted to point out in the year-to-date column, you see a red on the RLF fund. That's due to a loan drawdown that we've had and the purchase of the land north of the industrial park. The fund itself still looks very healthy, so I'm not concerned at all with that. And there's also some red on the stormwater, and that's mainly due to some purchase orders that we've approved for some equipment. So again, there's no concern on those. So we started the year with almost 18.5 million in the bank, and we're showing 20.6 million at the end of October. So we will see that 20 million kind of go down in the next couple of months, as most of our revenues have been in. We just have expenditures at this point of the year. As for sales tax, our collections are up 10.53% compared to this time last year.
What about for the whole year?
That's
That's for the whole year, that's not for
well,
that quarter?
compared to last year, we're at 99% of the budget at this point with 2 months left. That was the 2020 approved budget, so that was where we're at. As for the casino, we just had the best November since it's opened. I just wanted to report that. We received 32,461. We are at 96% of the projected budget met for, with 1 month to go. So we should meet that projection fairly easy also. So all these are just signs that our economy is strong. And at this point, I'll just open up for any questions.
I don't have anything.
I don't
Looks
have any-
good.
I don't need it.
If no questions, there's a motion to, oh, we don't have to approve that, this is,
Well, that's a review.
Thank you so much.
we approve it, thanks.
Thank you, Larissa.
Thank you.
All right, moving back to non-reports and requests. Bob, if you could come up, I cut you off, and I don't know if you had any more you wanted to say a little bit, and then maybe Darren could try to answer, or Matt could try to answer some of the questions
Before we
tonight.
start, have you had a chance to meet with, have you made an effort to meet with city manager on this?
No.
Okay.
I, basically, back when the flooding occurred after the paving of the road, I got a hold of the county commissioner and the city commissioner, who have changed since then, and tried to get their input. I didn't know where to start, really, so I just
Okay.
kind of did what I could on my own, so. Obviously, Mr. Krager's tried to take care of this for many, many, many years, and it really hasn't happened a whole lot. One of the things that happened, you know, I was trying to discuss about the mining stuff, there's like construction debris and mining debris and stuff like that, right on the very west side of the pond there. And Dean's been told by the city he's got to clean it up, and Dean says, hey, look, this isn't my issue. You know, why don't you guys clean up your mess? And it was probably county, okay? It's probably been there since before that whole area was annexed in. So I realize that the county and the city gets into issues sometimes trying to get stuff figured out, but my suggestion might be at this point, obviously the biggest concern is all the water, where we're gonna put it, where's it gonna go. We need to get some of it at least under the highway, so we don't have any, you know, we solve that safety issue there, because a lot of people do go up and down that road. Even by doing that, that's gonna help my situation. What can we do to appease Dean, because he's the one that's really the one that's upset the most about it and put the most effort in it? Well, first thing, I think we need to call him. But maybe if we take and clean up that whole west side of the pond there and push some of this, smooth it out so people can walk down to that pond at whatever level it might be. Get rid of some of the trees, get rid of the concrete, get rid of the mining stuff. There's also a whistle on the west side of the pond, kind of not in my property, but in Dean's property, and that's all collapsed. And because that's collapsed, a whole lot of water stays in behind my house. Well, when the pond goes down, that water sits there and becomes a mosquito haven. So let's see if we can't get that whistle opened up, clear that out, let that water drain into the pond. There's a little grove of persimmons. It would be nice to save that for the deer and stuff, because we have all kinds of stuff that go on around there. Put a temporary whistle underneath Free King Highway, and then finish the engineering to get a permanent whistle underneath there. Get all these things done. Help appease Dean, appease me, finish up the engineering, and at that point, after you've done all that, then maybe figure out a study. What happens if we seal this pond? Is it going to cause problems, further problems in the neighborhood?
Let me step in here just a second.
Okay.
I think you brought it before us. We probably are not going to make any decision on it tonight.
Absolutely.
But on the other hand, you brought it before us, and I think the people that you really need to meet with is the city manager and whoever else he thinks should be at the meeting, so you can work it out.
Sure.
So you can get an answer. We hear what you say and we understand your plight, and we don't take it lightly, or I don't. But on the other hand, I don't know that any further discussion here is going to get you where you want to be. And you really need to talk to the city officials who will be dealing with this.
I think also, Patrick, included into that, because if that whistle is under there, that water goes over into the county, right? Some whoever lives. So I would include the county in the talks that you have also, and see what can be done with it. So I don't know if you want to address any of this tonight, Darren, or Matt, or just sit down and see what can be done. I don't know.
There's several people that need to be involved.
Yeah.
The county for one, surface mining, I would think. You know, they're
A lot
just.
of people are already involved in
Yeah,
this.
I would echo.
Okay. Let me give you a couple minutes, because I'm gonna get out of here too. This has been an ongoing issue for, well plus 20 years. There's a design by PEC. This whistle obviously involves, if we were to put a whistle underneath the highway, that goes into the county. When I got to the city 9 years ago, there was already some design by PEC that got looked at. Surface mining was involved. Surface mining backed out. The area was originally in the county, annexed into the city. It's got some platting around. He's correct. There were some dumps. It's identified on the plat. There's a lot of issues going on. As we stand today, the county, even Carl Wood was involved. They worked on cleaning out some of the county side as it gets to Cow Creek on the east side. They did some of that. Ron Albertini was doing some of the surveying for the county through that. We kind of went through some retirement with him. He got back on. He's obviously, he passed here recently, but the county's engaged Triad Environmental, who works with surface mining quite a bit. Triad Environmental is working on this, looking at making sure that we don't create a downstream issue by sticking a pipe underneath the highway. It is a collector. That pond does collect detention from an area, so there is some more to that than there. But Triad Environmental is working on it with the county. We are engaged with the county. We continue to try and resolve that. In fact, Pete and I met with Triad and Riddell Construction to look at some of what the layout, after the utilities were called in, to look at what the layout of that pipe would look like. Mr. Krieger did stop by at that point. We didn't have a great conversation there, but Triad is still working on with the county to try and come up with some resolution, because he is correct. In 2018, about the time that we put the 1.5-inch overlay over the top of the road, 2018 had 50 plus inches of rain, 2019 had 80 plus inches of rain. That pond's been topped out for a while. Obviously it's back down because we've went through, but there's some issues going on that pond, where how it leaks and how it goes. But Triad's studying it. They work with KDHE surface mining all the time. So there are people involved. There are people working on it. It has drawn out for a lot of years, and it would be nice to have some resolution, but there is concern about some walkout basements, and we're not exactly, we're kind of flat. So what that may cause whenever it goes underneath the road and goes through there. So and I've been talking to Mr. Romine for a while, and we're continuing to work towards a resolution on this, but it crosses Free Kings and it goes into the county, so it's bigger than just us.
Why don't you keep us apprised of what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Darren,
Thank you.
Thanks.
Are you good with that, Bob?
Yes, I guess my only question would be, how can I get in the loop, I guess, just to kind of get information of what's going on? I mean, I don't have to give input or anything, just to be able to.
I can set up a meeting with, let me get back a hold of Triad. The main person with Triad is not here all the time, but let me see when his next visit to town is, and set up a meeting with both myself, Pete, and the county representative, and we'll get a meeting set up, and see if we can get a hold of Mr. Krieger as well.
That would be great.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Bob.
Hey, Bob, if you're not, Bob, if you're not I know that's your property and you're not in the loop, you just need to call. I mean, Matt does a great job. Matt's got 100 things to do. But if you're ever just like tearing your hair out saying, I just don't know what's going on, I can probably get you an answer faster than anybody if you just call me and say, man, this isn't going well for me. I don't know who I'm talking to anymore. So just please call me if you get to where you're just, nobody should go crazy, especially with their own home. So just always reach out. But thanks for your patience, and Matt's, you're in good hands, but we'll do what we can, I promise.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Are there any other non-agenda reports and requests?
I have a question. I have a question for Darren, maybe. Darren, can you give us an update on all the construction on Broadway, all the orange cones and everything going on? There seems to be a lot of questions about the
Yeah.
status of it, please.
So we're in the, we gave you an update about a month ago. Next year, we're gonna see a very large resurfacing project downtown. In order to make sure that that resurfacing project lasts as long as it can, Matt and his crew and our engineers have identified several areas where we've had to remove the contents of the street below and put it back with rock and concrete. So I think we've got one contractor who is amazingly short-staffed, but getting a lot done. I think they're actually moving very quickly. There's still some significant work on Broadway, if I'm not mistaken, but this is an ongoing process that we're trying to beat the weather and get it done for next year.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're working back down the center. They had a couple spots. They've now moved into 4th and Broadway because we do have a lot of issue going on there. From there, they'll move back into, from 4th back to 2nd in that area and work through those areas, doing subsurface repairs. They'll bring that back up to the top, and then next year, or into the next spring, they will mill and overlay all of that. So it's, bear with us, it's lots of cones, it's lots of confusion, and it kind of changes. You know, they move as quick as they can move, saw cutting, removing stuff, putting it back in a high early concrete to get back driving on it. So it's, and they are aware of the Christmas parade
Oh, boy.
and some of the downtown stuff. So.
With
If
the
you
weather
want to
that's
drive
coming.
confusion, drive down Main Street in Kansas City.
Yeah, I'll take your report for it.
We'll take Friday.
Thank you, Matt. Anything
No,
else?
excuse me.
If there's nothing else, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved and
Second.
seconded. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. We are adjourned.